Check it, you out and about in the streets and digital space with Marco G and Coach with the Play.
Coach TV.
And today we talking about networking because we've been out talking to different people, catching up with them, seeing what they have going on in their lives and business. We at the Inner Harbor down here at a new art exhibition. You're going to get ready to go sit down and talk to the owner about networking.
I'm with the one and only Mr. Larry Puncho Brown, the man with the plan, the beautiful museum down here. He invited us down. Take a look at it. It's amazing. You guys got to come down to Inner Harbor and check out his museum. Going to be here for the next 2 years. Come out here, show him some love. You can rent the spot out. You can have dinners down here. You can have conferences down here, meetings down here. And we was talking about networking with respect to the podcast. And we wanted to ask Mr. Brown a few questions about that, Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir.
Well, when it comes to networking, we was trying to figure out why it goes over people's head all the time, why they don't really value networking, and what you think the value of professional networking is when it comes to entrepreneurs or doing an event like this or building a museum like this.
Just because we've made progress doesn't mean that need is gone.
Right.
We still need the network. And now what happens, now that we've evolved, we're doing everything and we're trying to do it isolated. We're trying to do it by ourselves, or all these units of doing things by ourselves. And we're still not doing things collectively.
Yeah.
And this project is really a collective thing. It's like you find 2 or 3 partners that have a like mind. Everybody does their part, and then we can benefit the community any way we want. You know, so that's, to me, the essence of networking. It's not just, hey, here's my card, here's my card. No, it's like, what are we going to do together? I mean, let's for real, what are we going to do together? And then how many other people you know that we can do something together with? So I think we need to relearn what networking is, because it's a word.
Yeah.
And it's a social construct.
Yes.
It's not an economic construct. And it should be both.
Right.
You know, I've been to many social events in Baltimore that were supposed to be networking events. And when I left, nothing happened after those things, okay? And so we're at a time where we need to unify in more than one way. And networking, if you can't do it with networking as a baseline, then what are you actually talking about?
Right, and we together, stronger we together than we are divided.
Heard the slogans,
Yes.
but we're not actually living up to what those slogans actually mean.
Yeah, so and networking is important, and I think that's one of the reasons why it goes over people's head, because they're not operating inside of the network properly. They're, like you said, just coming and passing out cards. And I heard in your presentation, most artists are introverts, and the best way to get them out is to network and try to get them around other artists.
Well, it's not just getting them to network, it's getting them to fellowship, because that's not what we're not doing. We're networking to elevate ourselves, but we're not networking so that everybody will be elevated.
Understood.
You know, it's about awakening. It's a mentality that comes with networking. Hey, look, hey man, I got this thing going down. This brother I know does all of that. We don't do that. We're so busy killing and putting out fires as they come that we're not looking at the resources and the people that we know that are doing certain things. And so I ain't saying you got to know everybody.
Yeah.
But I am saying you should be giving back. You should be reciprocating. And if you're not mentoring somebody right now, you part of the problem.
Right.
Because we can't talk about networking until we can say, oh, I've given this child, this child, this child. I've fed this group my information.
That's right.
That's first.
That's
you
right.
can't just start out doing it.
Yes, I agree with you. And I heard in your presentation that you've been doing this for over 40 years.
Yeah.
And with respect to entrepreneurship, like to give them an idea of progression is and what progression means. How are you now after being in it for 40 years? Where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself needing to go further, or you where you want to be?
I think that no matter what you do, you're seeking your purpose. Once you define your purpose, then you have no end to what you can do.
Okay.
You know, some people have a job that they're defined by that job. Some people have a limited view of what their existence is. But once you know what your purpose is, oh man, you'll get fed for life.
Yeah.
And you'll find other ways to utilize that energy, because that's what it is. It's about exchanging energy. It's about paying it forward. It's about taking people with you. It's about another whole mentality, you know? So for me, that's the baseline of entrepreneurship.
So,
some of us go into entrepreneurship and we don't have a real social mindset. We're just trying to do the thing we want to do. Oh, and yeah, I know I need a customer base, but we don't look at
the importance of that customer.
Yeah, why did the creator even give you that interest? You know, That's for everything we talk about, man. Art is no different, music's no different, any other interest is no different. I know I have met people that are dedicated and they know what their purpose is. And those people are the ones you see that are really doing things, doing some magical things.
So networking is very important, I believe, in the business world.
So you got trade shows, you got conferences, you have business meetings, you go to school. So networking is all about everywhere that we go. And that's one of the things that I think is very important about Out and About.
Out and About is all about that. It's all about getting around, meeting the people, seeing where everybody's at and trying to pull things together. Just like being here at this art gallery, I just met the owner of the art gallery, and you know, he's telling me he's been in it for 40 years, you know, and he's trying to bring other artists together through networking. So this is a perfect facility to network in for artists. We were talking about, Miss Jennifer, the importance of networking and we wanted to get kind of like your idea of what the value of networking is. And
People make the world go round, right?
yes,
So if I know you and you know me, it helps to stretch that network, right?
yes,
And so that's how things get accomplished. This installation down here at Creatively Black could not happen without people.
that's right.
So it's all about the networking. It really is.
Yeah, and when we was talking, me and Marcus, we was trying to figure out why people don't see the value in networking, why they don't understand the importance of it, especially when those wanting to be entrepreneurs or those that want to sell their artwork, you know, or want to make a business of it.
I think when you talk about networking, sometimes people just think, oh, you're going to a cocktail hour and you got to pass out your business cards. Well, that's not it. And that's not enough. That's only the beginning part. It's actually meeting people, having follow-up meetings with people, getting to know people, building trust, and then doing projects like this with one another that really is forming that network.
Right, and then you can see some value in it once
Exactly.
you know, have a real understanding of what the networking purposes is all about.
Exactly.
So I guess you can saying that they really don't understand the real value or understand what networking is really meant for.
Correct. Or see the benefit.
I heard that you was 12 years old in Dr. Class.
Yes, I was 12 years old when I met Mr. Larry Poncho Brown, and I won the youth art exhibition that he was over at that time.
Yeah.
And we've been friends ever since. I was actually at Purdue University and the Black Graduate Association out there, and he let us use some of his artwork for our covers for our annual gala, and that brought in tons of people from different, very large businesses. So you're talking about million and billion dollar companies, and his artwork was featured on those banquet brochures. So we reconnected when I was in grad school, and we've been rolling ever since. So.
That is so awesome. So to have somebody in your life since you was 12,
Yeah.
that says a lot about you, that you got a bunch of loyalty within yourself, huh?
Yeah.
Especially when somebody treated you great and taught you things and helped you win the contest.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Excellence attracts excellence. So, you know.
That's what it is, iron sharpens iron
Yeah.
type of thing.
Exactly.
Networking has been one of those things that I've always done, traveling around the world, going to different places. I've never been scared to walk up and talk to people. Some people have a fear of public speaking. Like, as a business and entrepreneur, public speaking is very important because you have to convey your message and communicate with your team effectively about what you want to say. You're always, as they say, selling yourself. That means selling yourself to the public, selling yourself to your employees, your interns, your business, potential clients, your boss, your whatever it is, you're always selling yourself, and that's part of networking, and having those skills to communicate is very important. They have a thing called Toastmasters. It's about helping you do public speaking. And I'm actually reading a book on communication, how important it is. What is important is the feedback loop. I have to send my message to you,
Right,
so you interpret what I said, which is decoding it,
right.
and then you have to send it back to me.
Reply.
So having active listening skills is very important because you have to be able to communicate as well as listen. Some people like to listen to respond.
Some people like to listen to themselves talk.
Exactly.
That's one of those things where I'm glad you said that, because it's very important to be a good listener in order to be successful in anything that you're trying to do, because you learn a lot from listening. And sometimes people throw questions at you so fast while you're speaking. And if they would have just listened, you would have answered that question that they was about to say. So listening is one of the keys. And speaking about fear, people that desire to be entrepreneurs, they have to get over a lot of fears. And one of those fears is public speaking or being a people person, to be able to walk up to a person and engage. If you want to be an entrepreneur, that's one of the fears you have to get over. And networking will help you in that.
I also say if you're a leader as well.
If you're a leader, definitely, in order for you to get labeled as a leader, you probably have already gotten over those fears, because you probably can't even get that label as a leader until you're able to approach people, you're able to speak in front of crowds, and you're able to move the crowd. Who was that said, move the crowd?
Rakim?
Rakim, man. He dropped the mic.
Yeah.
So, you gotta be Rakim out here. But, the Out and About podcast, that's what we dedicated to, giving tips to business people and business owners and inspiring business owners, inspiring entrepreneurs. We're able to lay down the tips that the struggles and trials that we've been through, we're giving them to you so you don't have to go through them all over again. You can just pick the tip up and run with it.
It's very important that you get out and talk to people and travel, because you'll learn what the world is really made of, besides being stuck in your silo and your small networking bubble, I would say. So that's why I like to travel and go out and do conference shows.
The tip for the day is what we're talking about is professional networking, right? And how crucial it is. And networking can be crucial for both personal careers and business careers, as far as growing them, building and maintaining connections with professionals. It can open up various opportunities that you may not have known about. It could give you collaborations. You can even get mentorship and valuable insight when it comes to networking if it's done properly. It provides like a great platform for new ideas in whatever industry that you may be in, trend developments, and trustworthiness. It comes out of that, because when you relate to different people, you hear different people's ideas, and if those ideas that they gave you work, then you're going to trust that person to come back for more ideas.
The word social networking is more, I guess, rooted in today's culture as in social media. But a social network is really anybody with like minds and interests as yourself is really considered a social network. Communication has gotten lost since you have so much access to be able to communicate, because at one point in time, we didn't have smartphones, we didn't have internet, we didn't have all these effective ways to communicating. Now we have AI coming into the realm of helping us to communicate, because these are thoughts and data and information that's coming together to help people decipher and look at things. And if you don't know how to actively communicate, you're going to have this technology be more of a hindrance than a actual benefit and asset, because you're going to lose certain skills if you rely on technology too much. So there is a time and place for it, but getting out and actually talking to people is a big part of networking, because it goes beyond just online. Social media is more of a gateway to keep up with people.
Yeah.
But you need to go out and actually communicate and talk to people to start building your actual network. It's like, what's the point of having a whole bunch of people who cannot do anything for your network?
That's a good point, MGL. A lot of people, they look and they say, oh, I got this many followers, but the algorithms only got you in a box. So you only really dealing with 200 people. You got 15,000 followers showing on your label. So that's a real good point, that people need to get out and be face to face with other entrepreneurs, and because that social media and the internet situation, it has its position, or it has its values, or it has its purpose. Like AI, I like AI for the fact that it saves you time, right? And some social media situations can save you time. That's how I look at AI, and I look at the internet. It saves us time, because like you said, before we had these smartphones, when I was in college, I had to go to the library. If I had
a great source of information.
It's a great source of information, but it requires a lot of time. Instead of you going, I had to go to the library and get encyclopedias and do that hardcore research. Well, what may take you 18 hours to get it completed, With AI, you can get it completed in 3 hours now, you know, because they put all the information in one space. And so networking will give you the ability to find out how this new technology that exists is best used, because in the networking world, there's going to be other people using it and they're going to tell you their experiences with it. And maybe it can help you by networking. You can figure out, okay, what's the best use of this AI? What's the best use of social media, just by networking face to face, like you said.
Social media and AI is cool, but to me, you always got to fact check and do your due diligence.
Of course.
So that's like following up with people.
Yeah.
Same way with AI, reality and what AI has made up. And people make up stuff too when they go out and network. And to me, that's a recipe for disaster. I'd rather be authentic in my message when I go out and talk to people. At the end of the day, we all creatures of habits.
Yeah.
And our patterns and the way that we do things will eventually come to light. So always show your best you, but at the same time, it's best to be authentic within your messaging while you're networking and talking to people.
Yeah. Be you all the time. That's what I say. I said, there ain't no best me. It's just the me. Okay. You know what I mean? That's who I am. But you make another good point, man. You know, that because that is the work, you know, that is the work. You know, deciphering what's real, what's not, what's bogus, what's real, and as far as what AI, when AI comes down to it. But again, I would rather do that work to pick out what I need to pick out, what is true and what's not, versus traveling to the library like before. So, you know, the technology has its advantages, has its disadvantages, but on both tables, you got to do some work, as you know already. But, you know, we understand what AI is all about, and we don't get caught up into the social media hype, you know, 100,000 followers and all that, because we know how the algorithms work. So, but we do want to let them know the importance of networking, because when it comes down to doing business, whatever field that you in, you know, over my career in business, I always had to network. We always had to go to trade shows. We always had to go to Vegas to the trade show, or to New York to the NASB show. We always had to Miami to the show, and you went to the barber conference. So it's all about moving around and networking. That's how you expand. And that's how you grow. And that's how you obtain information. And what they say about information, it's knowledge. Talk about it.
They had in Vegas, I went back to, that's the Consumer Electronic Network Show.
Yeah.
So that's when they come out with all the different new technologies.
Right.
And you know, I love tech. So we're going to have to go check it out. We're going to have to do it out and about at one of the CESs out Vegas. Yeah. Get with us, because we out and about. If you have a business, or you're an entrepreneur, or you have something going on, definitely tap in with us, because we out and about in the streets, in the digital space. We're making it happen, talking to different people about what's going on. We're going to go check out these people that we've been networking with. So let's go check them out real quick.
Let's do it. Let's do it. You know how we do.
Shout out Dr. Miller.
She invited us to an author showcase. Dr. Miller be putting on events. We want to thank her for inviting us down. Trading Behind the 8 Ball. She got the book. This is her book right here. It's amazing. Amplifying the voice of teachers of color. She's an awesome person. I advise y'all to follow her on
Next Level Leadership Lab.
Next Level Leadership Lab on Instagram.
For my brother Marcus, man. I've been loving this brother for 15 plus. Not even because of, you know what I'm saying, I know him that long. I just support what he did. So he's doing this for me. I'm gonna rock with y'all, man. Show love. Keep loving yourself. Keep loving everybody, man. And do what you do. The main thing is do what you love to do. I'm a little tipsy. Drinking a little drink, Tuesday night boogie, you know what I mean? But we here. Mr. Fly Rio is my Instagram. Mr_Fly Rio is the Instagram. Some content coming more. If you don't know me, you'll get to know me. If you don't, it's cool. It's all love here. We turning up tonight. Let's go, baby.
So we back out and about. As you see, we've been catching up with people and we doing our thing.
Like that podcast.
Subscribe to that podcast.
And share that podcast. Let me just say something about sharing the podcast. Throughout networking,
right?
We was down in Waldorf last week networking, and I found out that the algorithm actually puts your information out to more people the more it's shared. So we need y'all to share that podcast. If you watching it, just hit the share button and share it. You know what I'm saying? And that will help us grow. And we want y'all to grow with us. We appreciate our subscribers. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us and stay tuned.
Because we out
And about.
in the streets and digital space. Catch you next time.